What's up, everyone? Welcome to the New Human University blog. I'm Dr. Stephen Hudon, the Director of Education here at the New Human University, and we're in the middle of a three-part series stemming from a single blog post about what is the matrix. What is the matrix? It's context, and context is biopsychoactive. What does that mean? When you have a certain context that has a certain content, the frame around the content, the context, creates changes in your brain and in your mind. So how can we leverage that? Well, we're using context to fuel a universal principle called SalutoGenesis. SalutoGenesis is this primal force of evolution and creation that burst forth even at the time of the Big Bang, and it now exists in us as latent inner organic technologies that we can unleash in our own bodies and wake up the brain. Now, if you want to know a little bit more about SalutoGenesis and how it impacts the brain, go back to an earlier blog post on the Research and Development Institute, in which we measure the changes in the brains and the minds of our students. What we're doing is working. So SalutoGenesis is this principle that can be fueled by context. So what's a big context? Right? The bigger the context, the more fuel you have. Well, here's a big context for you. That the universe came from nothing. There was nothing, absolute zero mathematically and physically, an absolute zero. And out of that nothingness came the entire universe. Everything that you see around you, anything that a telescope can see into deep into the past, if you will, that's all coming from nothing. And so what we're going to use right now is logic to understand that if something came out of nothing and that something has energy, well, that nothing must have at least as much energy as anything that you could see or weigh in the physical universe. That there must be that source of energy must have been energetic at some level to put forward all that matter and energy, right? And so, well, let's go back and see just how much energy there is in the nothing, right? In the nothing, we're saying is pure consciousness. And your mind, your very mind, the very mind that is hearing these words intersects consciousness itself. Your mind has access to nothing. That's a funny way to say it. But transcendent to the universe, there is a transcendent self, and your mind intersects that. And so that transcendent mind, if you will, must have at least as much energy as the universe, if not more. In fact, it makes a lot more sense that the physical universe is just kind of a puff of energy out of this massive nothingness that contained all the energy and matter in the universe. So let's do a little more thought experiment on how much energy there is. Well, Einstein taught us that energy is equal to mass times the speed of light squared. Well, if that's the case, your mind can contain whatever your mind puts its attention on has the energy according to this equation. So let's say you put your attention on your body. Well, if you were to convert all the mass in your body into energy, it would contain this number of units of energy. It's 354 billion times the amount of energy that your body uses in about 2 minutes. And the reason why I use 2 minutes is because we have a practice of meditating for 2 minutes that has the equivalent results of meditating for much, much longer. And so your body, if converted into energy, is 354 billion times more energetic than the amount of energy you spend to keep you alive. Well, that's interesting. Putting your attention on it harnesses or recruits that amount of energy. Well, let's see if you pushed back your awareness and attention and you observed the earth using your mind, either your physical eyes or just being aware of it, there's more energy there. There are this number of units of energy. I'm not even going to try and say that number right now. But what I did write down so I can remember it is it's 46 trillion times more energy than your body spends in 2 minutes. What about the sun? 15 trillion times that of your body. What about the galaxy, right? You can kind of see the point I'm trying to make, I hope. As you keep pushing back, there is more and more energy that can be gathered into your attentional field, which is being sourced out of the transcendent mind, of which your mind is a part of. And so if we weigh all the mass in the universe, including dark matter, it's 249,597 trillion times the energy that your body uses in stasis for about 2 minutes. So now that we've weighed the physical universe, you're starting to get a sense of just how much energy there is in the universe, and that must have been sourced from the beyond. And your mind is a part of that. And when you harness that amount of energy in this meditation on SalutoGenesis, remember we have this fourth amazing type of meditation now. It's meditation on an active object of SalutoGenesis. When you put that much of attention on it, the attention that's connected to the nothing that has all this energy in it, you can direct that attention into SalutoGenesis, this inner organic technology, and you can create a singularity. What's a singularity? Well, I'm going to explain that in our next blog post next week. Stay tuned for part 3. In the meantime, if you want to get ahead of the game, please go to www.thenewhumanuniversity.com/webinar to learn more about the practices and contexts that we're setting at the New Human University's Meta Modern Mystery School that we call Praxis Aletheia. See you next week.